no code is dead. If you built your career on it, your company on it, or your hopes on it, you are in trouble. No code promised to democratize building, to turn ideas into products instantly, to make developers obsolete. Then what happened? It created a generation of builders who can't build, who are trapped in walled gardens, paying a tax on every click and hitting a ceiling they can't see. And this isn't a prediction, it's an autopsy. No code wasn't killed by skeptical developers, it was killed by something far more fundamental. The crushing weight of its own abstractions, the cognitive friction of its visual interfaces, and the brutal economics of AI native code generation. If you think this is about which tool is better, you are missing the point. This is about leverage. This is about power. And in the next 15 minutes, I am going to show you why the future doesn't belong to the no-coder or the traditional developer. It belongs to a new kind of a builder. And by the end of this, you will understand that AI didn't just make coding easier. It made abstractions itself obsolete. Let's be intellectually honest. The no-code movement wasn't a mirage. It was a brilliant, necessary, and for a moment revolutionary idea. It got a few things right. First, speed to prototype. You could go from a napkin sketch to a functioning MVP in a weekend. It felt like magic. It empowered non-technical founders to finally show, not just tell. Second, it lowered the initial barrier. The fear of the command line, of cryptic error messages, of syntax. It vanished. In its place was the friendly, reassuring world of drag and drop. For a moment, it felt inevitable. It felt like the future of software was visual, not textual. It felt like we were finally moving beyond the arcane world of code. But that feeling was based on a misunderstanding of what software is. No-code simplicity was a Trojan horse. Inside it was a hidden and crippling complexity. Every no-code platform comes with an abstraction tax. You don't pay it in dollars at first. You pay it in control. You pay it in performance. You pay it in the slow, creeping realization that you can only do what the platform allows you to do. Then comes the debugging opacity. When a line of code breaks, you have a stack trace. You have a specific point of failure. When a no-code workflow fails, you have a black box. You are clicking through a maze of settings, dependencies, and hidden logic, praying you find the one toggle that's breaking everything. And it's not debugging. It's detective work with no clues. This leads to combinatorial complexity. A simple app with a few dozen visual elements can have thousands of potential interactions. In code, this is managed with functions, modules, and clear logic. In no-code, it's a spider web of invisible connection. Visual simplicity creates systemic complexity. It's like trying to understand a car's engine by looking at a polished dashboard. And finally, the end game, vendor lock-in. Your entire business logic, your user data, your whole operational existence is hosted on someone else's platform. You are not building an asset, you are renting one. Think of it like this. No code gives you a set of prefabricated walls and rooms. You can arrange them, paint them, and furnish them. But you can never ever change the fundamental architecture. You can't move a load-bearing wall. You can't add a new kind of foundation. Code gives you bricks, mortar, and the laws of physics. You can build a shack or you can build a skyscraper. The only limit is your understanding. The inevitable truth. This isn't just a technical argument. It's a biological one. Our brains are not optimized for complex visual abstractions. They are optimized for language. Cognitive load theory tells us that our working memory is incredibly limited. When we try to solve problems, we can only hold a few chunks of information in our head at once. Language, and by extension code, is a masterpiece of cognitive compression. A single line of code can represent a vast complex operation. A function name can encapsulate a whole world of logic. It's a symbolic system that scales with our understanding. Visual interfaces, on the other hand, do the opposite. A simple drag and drop interface forces you to hold the entire system state in your visual working memory. Where does this button lead? What data does this element depend on? What happens if I move this box? At scale, this becomes neurologically unsustainable. It's why reading and writing code feels more natural to an expert builder. It aligns with the brain's native ability to handle symbolic, hierarchical systems. We think in language, we reason in logic, and we build in systems. Dragging and dropping boxes in a fantastic way to arrange furniture, it's a terrible way to build a machine. And this is where AI delivers the final fatal blow. The core promise of no code was to bridge the gap between idea and execution. But it did so by building a bridge out of plastic. AI collapses that gap with the press of a button. Why? Because English is equal to code is an infinitely more powerful paradigm than GUI is equal to logic. With an AI native tool, you don't need to learn a proprietary visual interface. You just ask, build me a user authentication system with Google login. Create a dashboard that tracks monthly recurring revenue. Refactor this code to be more efficient. AI eliminates boilerplate, not thinking. It automates the tedious, repetitive parts of coding, freeing the builder to focus on the architecture, the logic, and the user experience. The marginal cost of writing, testing, and deploying code is approaching almost zero. Suddenly, code is no longer a barrier. It's the most flexible, powerful, and direct interface for creation. It's the universal language of building, and now everyone is fluent. Follow the incentives. Who has more leverage? A solo founder with an AI coding assistant, or a 10-person team wrestling with a no-code platform's limitations? Who has a lower maintenance cost over time? The company with a clean version control codebase, or the company paying an ever-increasing subscription for a platform that holds their business hostage? Companies will always choose optionality over convenience. They will choose sovereignty over dependency. They will choose the system that allows them to adapt, to innovate, and to own their own destiny. Whereas no code was a bet on convenience, AI is a bet on leverage. And in the long run, leverage always wins. So who is the builder of the future? They are not a developer in a traditional sense. They are not non-technical. They are AI native builders. An AI native builder understands that their primary skill is not writing syntax. It's thinking in systems. It's defining problems with absolute clarity. It's knowing what to ask for. They don't drag boxes. They write prompts. They review generated code. They guide the AI shaping its output and directing its power. They are the architect, and the AI is the infinitely scalable construction crew. They understand that prompting and reviewing code is a fundamentally superior workflow to being constrained by a GUI because it puts the builder back in control. Let's be blunt, who loses? The no-code agencies who sold complexity as a service, the builders who became experts in a single proprietary tool but never learned the first principles of how software is built. They were given a fish and now the pond is drying up. Who wins? The builder who adapts. The builder who sees AI not as a threat but as the ultimate force multiplier. The builder who realizes that the most valuable skill is not knowing a tool but knowing how to think. The skills that matter the most now are systems thinking, the ability to see the whole, not just the parts. Problem definition, the ability to articulate a desired outcome with precision. Taste and judgment, the ability to know what makes a product good and to guide the AI towards that outcome. So what should you do? Stop investing your time and energy in becoming an expert in closed ecosystems. Stop looking for the magic tool that will do the thinking for you. Start learning the fundamental principles of software architecture. Start learning how to talk to AI. Start learning how to read and review code, even if you don't write it from scratch. Because the new divide isn't between those who can code and those who can't. It's between those who can think in systems and those who are trapped in them. No code is dead. Long live AI code.